Hey everyone, Casey here today. Just checking in. Happy that it's Wednesday and that things are going well. Wanted to give you guys a couple little updates. Hopefully, you guys are all doing well also. Um, I am currently on a different device, so you'll notice that the screen might look a little bit different and things like that. So yeah, so the screens are different. But anyhow, I'm taking a look at some of the trades from yesterday. All right, so remember, we were in the Australian dollar, okay, and that really hasn't done much. It actually almost stopped me out last night. It came down here, almost stopped me out. And I have two positions on, and so it would have actually been close to a break even on that because this one's locked in profit, this one's a loss. So that would have been not a big deal. But right now it's up pretty nice. This one position's up 70 some dollars, and this one's down just a few bucks. Now, the US yen, if you guys remember the US yen, I took that based off of a daily trade, and I had quite a bit of risk on it because I was trying to get above here. And so, as you know, if you know anything about my trading, I really hate having big risk. But since this was an 89, 90 pip target, I wanted to have a pretty big, or it was a 90 pip stop loss. I wanted to have a really big target. So 90 pips with a 500 pip target is still pretty good. It's a 5 to 1. Okay, so this is a 5 to 1 trade, and right now we're starting to get the momentum. It'd be nice if we could get a nice little crash, but it's nice, slow grinding down. I kind of like this. It's breaking below, so I'm gonna remove some of that risk already because we've already broken a level. So I'm just gonna put it above the last 3 daily candles, and you'll see that that is now risk has been. Oh wait, hold on. Risk has been removed. So now it's essentially it's no longer a 5 to 1 trade. Now it's a 10 to 1. Okay, so now because my risk is now down to 45 pips and my target is close to 500, it's now a 10 to 1. So that's really good on the risk to reward ratio. We got some good momentum. If I look at this on the weekly chart, it looks good on the weekly. You can see that we have a nice downward trend here. You see that? And then we have this also. So this is kind of what I was looking at as well. Very nice. It could take some time to get down here, or it could happen right away. But, you know, it's moving and we're making progress, and right now the trade's up pretty nice. And so I'll keep you guys updated on everything. Another trade that I've been looking at a lot is this USD Mexican. And I wanted to, let me remove some of these crazy things here. Okay, so if we take a look at this chart, this is a daily chart, you'll notice something really interesting happening. We had a very, very strong breakout move. And ever since then, we've had a big move down, a big move up, and then another move, and another move, and another. And so what's happening now is it's consolidating, okay? And so what that means is that these lows are getting lower, 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 lower. So see, lower, 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 and lower. Or actually, rephrase it. It's a higher low. This is a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, and a higher low. All of these little higher lows are happening, and what happens from that is it's now creating this triangle. Okay? And then same thing, we got a high, a lower high, a lower high. So right now, this has been developing for quite some time. Quite some time. And it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And what that usually indicates is that something is going to break. Okay? And a lot of times these particular patterns are what they call ascending wedges. and a lot of times those will break up. But the thing about it is we don't really know what it's going to do. It could break up or down, so you can't really just say, well, this is a sending wedge, I'm going to trade it long, which you can do that. Like after it takes the 1, 2, 3, 4th touch, you could say, well, this has touched the bottom 4 times, I'm going to go ahead and go long here and expect for a breakout. And if you know what these patterns, see again, if you know, you understand that these patterns don't always work, right? They don't always work. But if you know that, let's just say they work 60% of the time, then you know that if you take this trade, that there's a 60% likelihood that you're going to win the trade. And the good news is that it does break up very rapidly. So if we look at some potential targets for this, we could go out to a larger time frame and see what we've noticed in the past. And what we've noticed in the past is that we really are at some all-time highs on this. Okay, this has actually never been this high on the USD Mexican. So we're at the all-time high. So there's no way to get a resistance point. So it could actually just keep on going and going. So when you don't have a resistance point, another thing you can do is use a Fibonacci extension. And one way to do that is, let me drop it back down to a daily time frame. Okay, and try to get this, there we go. So you can run a Fibonacci extension, which basically will help you predict your move. And so you just run from the top to the bottom here of this swing, and then you look for an extension. Okay, so you run to the top to the bottom of this price extension, and then you can see that it could go up here. So if we do get a breakout, it's very possible we could be in the 27 range, but based off of this, because this is a 161.8 extension, and these actually get hit quite often. I could actually go down to a lower time frame and show you how that looks. So if we're thinking that it's going to break up, then we could be targeting that. And remember, I like to just kind of go through all the scenarios before taking a trade mentally, just talking it out, just going through what could happen, what might not happen, what will happen, blah, blah, blah. Just because the more scenarios I run through, the more familiarized I get with the trade, the better it will help me make a trading decision. Okay, so just another scenario that could happen is we could be looking at a sideways channel where it just goes sideways for a while before it breaks out. It might touch these moving averages and then break up, or it might just keep going sideways and then break down. If we put this fib back on from all the way up here to here, you can see that it did get to the 38.2, but right now it's just ranging. And so when you're trying to take a trend trade, another thing that is really dangerous is when you try to take a trend trade in a choppy market like this, you get crushed. And I've had my profits just been slammed and hammered by trying to catch moves in a very tight market, right? So the way that you can help with that is A, use bigger stops, or B, try to get it really tight on support and resistance levels, or C, drop down to lower time frames and catch those levels. So if we're trying to trade some breakouts here that never happen, we could actually pull down, go to a lower time frame, and then try to catch this on a bounce, right? So we could move this up here and try to catch it on a bounce. And so right now, my current, the way my trade is currently going, I've actually already doubled a couple times since from my lows at 250. And remember, we're talking about doubling, so my goal is to double 12 times. And I want to see if you guys can do that too. And yesterday I was actually up double, but I didn't close my account and then the price reversed. I had an Australian dollar that was up really high and my accounts were doubled. If I would have closed it, I would have doubled the account. But I didn't, but I still made some gains, so I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Because I know if I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, if I keep managing my risk properly, I'm going to double the account. And I just got to keep doing that over and over again. So remember, we're on this journey. We started it on April 24th together, and we're trying to double it 12 times. And it's going to be interesting to see how long it can take. So right now on this USD Mexican, we have this support. So I'm really looking, even if I can just get to the top of this or even to the top of this, if we redraw this to look like that, even up here would be a nice trade if I got a decent stop. So let's go ahead and pull this down to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, so you notice now, here's the bottoms. It's touch the bottom, touch the bottom, touch the bottom. Now we had a bounce back up and a pop. So if we remember the daily, it's been right here. You see this 2 daily level, and I'm gonna draw. Oh, I don't want that. That did not want to do that. Anyways, I'll fix that in a minute. So I wanted to do this. I wanted to add these periods. See, this is why making mistakes can happen. You just hit the wrong button. So if we look at this, you can see in the last couple days, it hasn't been able to break this high. So we have a level right here that has not been broken. We have a 1, 2, 3. And right now we do have another little triangle here on a 15 minutes. So we had the big triangle, right? And so you can see what I'm saying. Higher, then a lower high, and then a third lower high, and then we have a lower. Actually, this is more of a flat top triangle, whereas the other one is getting smaller on both sides. You know the difference. There's the other one, it was shrinking on both sides. On this one, it's flat on the top. It looks like it is shrinking a little bit because the high here was 2610. The high here was 2415. And then the high here was 2414. So this is very close. But anyways, if we did break above these moving averages and we're moving up here. So Reddy's saying it's an ascending triangle or descending because you notice it was down and then now it's made the triangle. Whereas on the daily might be considered an ascending because it was moving up, right? Ascending move because it was a triangle that formed after an up move, descending because it formed after a down move. So anyways, I'm going to take this trade right here. I'm going to go ahead and buy this, and I'm going to put a pretty tight stop on it with the anticipation that it breaks out. If it doesn't, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm just doing it because I'm anticipating. Because of why? Because of that, we're on the bottom of this triangle. And I'm thinking that we're going to break and get at least back up here. So I'm going to now move my target up to the edge of that triangle. Okay, and so we got a nice little target there. And I'm going to pull my stop loss right below these moving averages here, give it some nice room, and we have it. Okay, so right now it's 138 pip stop, and we have 138 pip stop with a 450 pip target. So that's a very nice risk to reward ratio. And right now you can see my US yen is actually accelerating to the downside, which is great. Getting some more acceleration. Or you could call it a bear flag too, or bear pennant. Yeah. And so I'm not an expert on identifying the names, but I think that a ascending triangle, I mean, flags are a little bit different in shape, but the functionality is very similar to the triangles. Okay, so right now my trade here is really just going gangbusters. I'm currently up 62 pips, right? And so I have my stop loss at 46 pips. So what that means is that I'm going to be able to get, if I can get some momentum to carry this a little further, it's going to be locked in very soon. And so it's nice. I'm up $115 on this trade, which is really good. And then the Australian dollar trade is starting to materialize. We can take a look at that for a minute. So if you remember, this Australian dollar did break above these moving averages here. and we kind of have a new trend going. I mean, it's still down when we look at the overall trend. Let's go to a weekly. It's still definitely down, but there is a possibility of getting up to these moving averages, which is what I'm looking at. You can see that we have this in play. Okay, and it's off a little bit, but you can see that. And the moving average does the job, so I don't really need that. But you can see weekly, it just keep on trucking. It's keep on, we're bullish. So on the daily, we can see that we have the same type of thing happening. We've got a higher low, we have higher low, and then we have a third higher low. And every time we get a break like this, a pullback, if you take a long on this break, it's a great trade. Right? You take a long on this break, it's a great trade. And for those of you that have been following me, you know I've been trading this for a while. I took trades in here. I made money on them. I lost money on some of them too because of the reason, yeah, I've lost some too. So anyways, we're now at a higher low and we're bouncing. So now I went down to a lower time frame. Let's go to a 4 hour, and you can see that we've found some resistance, some support here, and some resistance. And so now I have some upward momentum, and we've got the trades. And I had closed a couple as well, which was good. But right now, the 1 hour is turning. If we get, I've got some profit locked in. I was actually down here going long, looking for a longer term. It's popped up. It's now held this level, so it's looking like I can get another level here, which would be great. My ultimate target on this one is all the way up here, which is 251 pips, whereas my first trade actually has 11 pips already locked in, so it's already, there is no negative risk to reward. It's a positive at this point. So on the US yen, if we look at it, US yen, someone was saying that, Kleps, you were saying that you're short from 106.60, which is great, and you know it's going to bounce. Well, if you know it's going to bounce, put your target in or take a position. But the thing is, I would counter your claim that says you know that it's going to bounce, because I don't know that. If you know that for sure, why not put $5 million long at 106 if you know it's going to bounce? Close your order and then go long $1 million. I just don't know that that's actually going to happen. To me, there's not even really any support here at 106 that shows that it would. I don't even see a support level at all. The most recent support level that I could possibly see on this would be right here at 104.60. So I'm not saying that you should not take your profit at 106. If you believe that that's what's going to happen, then go ahead. But you can see that we have 1, 2, 3 stops here. It stopped at this price before, stopped at this price before, stopped at this price before. And then it broke through it here, and my guess is that it's going to break through this one more time to get down here. That's what I'm thinking, and that's why I put this up as a more of a long-term position. This would be a great position here, because if I can hit this target, that's $1,000, which at the time of taking this trade yesterday, my account balance was $600. So just in this one trade alone, I'm going to double my account if I can nail it. Pretty cool when we talk about doubling accounts. I could actually double that with one trade if it could hit. And now I don't know if it's going to hit. Because why? Because the market loves to sag and crazy zig and zag and take us out, but it does. Kleps is funny. Actually, the only reason I told you that is because you said that's what you believe is going to happen. So, you got to trade what you believe. But just make sure you put $1 million in there, but put a very tight stop so you don't lose $1 million. That's the thing, because you never know what's going to happen in the market. It could go up or down, it could do whatever. So anyways, trades are looking good right now. And I will be checking in later on. We got the USD Mexican. I'll give you guys a full update tomorrow. I'm on a different computer, so I don't even have my spreadsheet here. So I would go over that, but I don't have that today. But anyways, guys, thanks for checking in. This has been great. We got a nice little crowd here. Great feedback, great comments. If you like the training, if you like to double your account with me, if you think it's great, please just go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the notification bell so that you can get updates. I come in around in the morning whenever I get up and get my coffee and get ready. It's different times on different days, also based on what the market's doing. Well, Montez is asking me to do Bitcoin, so I'm gonna answer his request real quick. I am a big fan of Bitcoin, so I'm gonna do that. I love Bitcoin, and so Bitcoin is like on fire right now. Look at this. Look at this. This thing is going. So the one thing I'm gonna notice here is that where are we right now? Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me, guys, if this actually turned around. As hot as it is right now, it wouldn't surprise me. But one little clue that I just noticed right off the bat here, and I know everybody's like me. If you're like me at all, you're like, I want Bitcoin to rock, right? Everybody wants Bitcoin to rock because everybody's holding a lot of Bitcoin, at least if they're smart, they are. I even got my daughter to hold Bitcoin. But here's the thing. It popped off of this level, okay? And then it went down. And then now it went right back up. It didn't do what it did last time. Last time it went boop. So if it doesn't break this, we could actually go all the way down to the bottom of this channel, which would be crazy because Bitcoin's channel is just so big, which is good for range trades and channel trades. I mean, imagine shorting this thing and getting it all the way down to 2,600. And then imagine if we go long again and get it back up to 76. But we still are in a downward channel, then that has not changed, right? It has not changed. It wouldn't surprise me if this bullish candle shoots right through it. We'll see what happens by the end of the day. But that's pretty interesting, guys. It could break. It really could. And if it breaks, man, you know that this could be the one. This could be the trade, guys, because you know Bitcoin. Like if we go back, what it could go. If it goes, it could go. What about up here? 19,000. What do you think? Possibility? Maybe. That'd be interesting, I'll tell you that. So that's the fun thing about Bitcoin is it can really move. I don't like trading it on my currency platforms because of all the swap that mine charges me and then the massive spreads. It's much better for me just to buy and hold Bitcoin using like I use Cash App or Binance or something like that to hold my Bitcoin. Okay, guys. Hey, Edward. Good to see you. Good. Thanks, everybody, for commenting. So that's really is it this time. My trades are doing great. Had a good week. I really was excited about May getting started, hoping that I could double at least twice in May. So far, I haven't doubled yet in the month, but we'll see. Anything can happen. It's early. I'd love to double my account twice. And for those of you guys that are here, this is going to be a long-term journey that we're going to go on together. And, share this journey with people. Let people know that it's going on. Hit that like button for me. Say, hey, there's this actual guy. He's actually going to double his account, and he's going to get it all the way up to $1 million online, right? And so you guys are going to be in here with me, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it's pretty crazy, but it's fun, right? So, double by the end of the day. That's good. I'm glad that you get confidence ready, and you got to have confidence. It's really important. It really is, and I'm glad that I can help you with that. It's important to have confidence so that you can do the right thing, so that you can close your trades when they're losing, so you can take your stops, so you can handle your losses. Like that's when the confidence comes in, because when you hit that loss and you have a massive psychological blow, then your confidence just takes a major hit. And so that's one thing that you want to take a look at. Okay, well, again, I said that I was going, but this time I really am. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon. Probably will step in tomorrow if I have an opportunity, but that's it for today, so thanks, everyone.